He sold air, literally air, to investors and made millions. Sounds impossible, right? But this isn't fiction. It's one of the most shocking financial scandals of our time, hidden under the banner of saving the planet. This is the wild story of the carbon credit scam, how a system built to fight climate change turned into a playground for fraudsters. You're watching Truvo, and if you want more stories that uncover deception and money in the modern world, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications, because this one's going to blow your mind. It all began with a brilliant idea. Companies pollute and others remove carbon from the atmosphere to balance it out. Those removals become carbon credits. You can trade them, sell them, and claim you're helping the planet. On paper, it's genius, but genius often attracts greed. Enter the so-called pioneers of the carbon credit industry. They promised investors huge returns while saving the environment. The pitch was irresistible. Help the planet and make money. Investors believed they were funding projects that reduced real carbon emissions, like installing clean cook stoves in developing countries. But here's the truth. Many of those projects never produced the promised reductions. Companies like Sequest Capital, once praised for fighting climate change, allegedly exaggerated their results. They claimed millions of tons of carbon reductions that never actually happened. In simple terms, they sold air, and investors bought it. These scams worked because the carbon credit system runs on trust. Most of the data comes from the project owners themselves. Verification agencies rarely have the time or resources to double-check every claim. So when someone says, "We cut emissions by half," it's often accepted at face value. Now imagine a company reports 10 times more reductions than they achieved. Those fake numbers create extra credits, credits that get sold to investors and corporations desperate to call themselves carbon neutral. And because everyone loves a feel-good sustainability story, nobody questions it. Money pours in. Investors think they're saving the planet while earning returns. Corporations proudly print net zero on their packaging. Meanwhile, the planet? Still warming. Authorities say this specific scam raised over $100 million, built entirely on fabricated data. When auditors finally looked closer, they discovered the projects weren't even close to delivering what had been promised. And when one insider warned, "This is a disaster for us," the company didn't stop. They doubled down. Think about that for a second. When confronted with the truth, they didn't admit the failure. They tried to bury it. That's when a good idea turned into a global deception. And it wasn't an isolated case. Across the world, carbon credit fraud has become a booming shadow industry. Investigations have shown that up to 90% of rainforest-based carbon credits might be worthless. Millions of tons of saved carbon that never existed. Yet corporations keep buying them, and investors keep funding them, because the illusion feels real. If you're in the United States, this story matters more than you think. Big brands you trust, airlines, clothing companies, even tech giants, often rely on these credits to say they're carbon neutral. But if the credits are fake, those claims collapse. It's not just about money anymore. It's about integrity, transparency, and the truth we tell ourselves about climate action. Here's the scary part. You could be investing in these schemes without realizing it. Many green investment funds include carbon credit projects as part of their portfolios. They look legitimate, they use impressive jargon, and they wave glossy sustainability reports in your face. But when the numbers don't add up, you're left holding air. So how do you protect yourself? Start by questioning everything. When someone offers an investment that claims to save the planet and make you rich, be cautious. Ask for independent verification. Demand data that's publicly available. Check whether the carbon registry involved has been audited or criticized for inaccurate reporting. And don't fall for emotional marketing that plays on guilt or hope. Because here's the painful truth. Good intentions don't stop bad people. When the scandal broke, charges were filed. Wire fraud, commodities fraud, securities fraud. Executives faced prison, but the damage was already done. Investors lost millions, public trust evaporated, and the entire carbon market suffered. What was meant to be a tool for fighting climate change became a case study in how to exploit it. And if you think this story ends here, think again. The carbon credit market is expected to grow to 100 billion by 2030. That's a lot of room for manipulation, especially when oversight is weak. More schemes will emerge, and more people will fall for them, unless we learn. So remember this, not every green investment is what it claims to be. Verify, don't just believe. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. At the end of the day, someone sold air and made millions because we trusted too easily. But you don't have to. You can be the kind of investor or consumer who looks deeper, asks harder questions, and demands proof. If this story opened your eyes, show your support by liking this video and subscribing to Truvo. We bring you the real stories behind money, power, and deception, the ones most people never hear about until it's too late. Because in a world where people can sell air and call it profit, staying informed isn't optional, it's survival.